afternoon, everyone. If you don't know who I am, look in the program. I'm over 40, okay? Thank you. Okay, welcome to Los Alamitos High School. To many of you, welcome back to Los Alamitos High School to honor the hard work and personal dedication of Dr. Randi Carp gave to her students and colleagues during the time she spent here at Los Al as vocal music director. Our family is honored by your presence and especially honored by the alums that have come from near and far to perform for us today. We'd like to thank the Los Alamitos School District and Los Alamitos High School Principal, Dr. Brandon Martinez, for the use of the theater. Several people devoted an extraordinary amount of time and expended untold amounts of energy to make this program possible. Thank you, and many kudos to Dave Bakeen, Randy's husband, Eddie Clement, Randy's accompanist, Sandra Sandvig, a former student and colleague of Randy's, and Dave Mollenkamp, Los Al's current vocal music director. We'd also like to thank Suzanne Lewis of VNS Video Services for the dedicated service over the years and recording of this concert. Randy's exuberance and energy and creativity melded well with the musical environment she found at Los Al. Randy's unbounded enthusiasm spread quickly to the parents of the choir students, and they found very unusual ways to raise money for the show costumes, competition bus trips, and some overseas adventures. Thanks to all of the dedicated parents of the choir students for the role they played in helping their children and the Los Al music program to thrive. After reading the many poignant and heartfelt comments of many of Randy's students, colleagues, and friends posted on Facebook, we, her family, realized the impact that Randy made not only in the lives of her students, but also on the community at large. She opened our eyes to the amazing person she was in too short a time she was here. Thank you once again for your presence here, and it's an honor to be with all of you. Let the music begin.
Dave asked me to speak on behalf of the alumni, which is such an honor and a completely daunting task to try to capture all of the feelings that all of these people behind me have felt by losing Dr. Carp. Randi always joked that she graduated with me from La Salle in 2008. I was going to college. Randi wished she was coming with me to college. I told her there was no room, so she'd have to go to Philadelphia. But, that's how it goes. Everyone today is here to celebrate a great life, and I had written this whole sappy speech, but I realized that last night Randi would have been so mad at us if we sat here and cried, so I'm hoping that something in this will make you laugh. I wasn't supposed to end up in Randi's classroom. It was only after the suggestion of Ariel Miller that I signed up to be a member of Accent the summer before my freshman year. I'd been a part of musical theater programs my whole life, but had never incorporated it into my school days, so when Ariel casually mentioned this program at the high school, which she had been a member of for 2 years, I said okay. It was only fitting that Ariel then called me on January 6th to tell me the news of Randi's passing. I found in my years since meeting Randi that no one I met outside of this world understood how she had influenced me. Not my friends in high school that weren't a part of choir, and not the people I met after. She wasn't just a teacher, but she wasn't necessarily your friend. She wasn't your mom, and you always kind of felt like she was. In more recent years, I've always just kind of referred to her as a fairy godmother / the crazy aunt that you enjoy drinking with. I left work the afternoon that I found out about Randi's passing and called my mom from the car and just started crying. She was a huge part of helping you become the person you are today, my mom said. It's okay to be sad. It's going to hurt for a while because she was a piece of you. And my mom wasn't wrong. A lot of who I am today is because of what I learned from Randi. One of my favorite things about Carp, which we all nicely refer to her as, was that she was always willing to preach a bit, whether it was in the choir room or this room or on a bus or via text or over Facebook chat or in her water blue Lexus SUV or USC football games or the West Coast or the East Coast or really anywhere where she happened to have you in a corner. But we all remember those things that Randi preached. I'm sure a couple of you have those things echoing in your head right now. Randi always said it like it was, and it wasn't always the way you wanted to hear it, but it was the way you needed to hear it. She could build you up and knock you down all in one breath, and you grew from it. In Randi's world, no one was too good or too talented to be excused from being a caring, effective team player. And if you didn't want to play by those rules, no matter how talented you were, she'd show you the door and probably scream at you, "Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you." But she was always also willing to learn so she could keep up with the coolest and latest things. In high school, that meant creating a secret MySpace account that she used to stalk all of our pages, which ultimately led to one day her calling all of us out on the pictures we had posted on MySpace with red cups in our hands, which then ended up being a guest star at the Thanksgiving breakfast we had. In college, Randi and I would have long conversations catching up on the latest gossip. She'd ask me who I still kept in touch with, if anybody had come out of the closet, and if I had seen Burrow's latest competition set. When I started working, she started watching Scandal because I told her I was working with this chick named Kerry Washington. She was really always trying to keep up. The funny thing is, and I don't know if anybody remembers differently, but Randi was the first person I remember with an iPhone, so she was way ahead of all of us. Like any good gambler, Carp always held her good cards close to her chest. Even if you killed it in a dress rehearsal, she somehow convinced you to work a little bit harder to do better next time. She'd eventually tell you 3 months later that she was really proud of you or that you did a really good job, and at that point you had no clue what she was talking about. And we all love her and everything, but everyone needs to remember this chick was a little crazy. She was crazy enough to teach a class at 6 a.m. full of 100 students. Or when she didn't want to talk to anybody, she would hang a sign around her neck that said, "Do not disturb." So how can we thank this incredible person who has unintentionally changed our lives in ways we can't describe? We can do two things. We can live life the way Randi taught us to, and we can emulate the way Randi lived her life. Randi often joked about the values she instilled in us that she found to be important, like having an attitude of gratitude, being on time, Dr. Laura lessons, black socks, the importance of keeping to your word and committing to it fully. I've realized that attributes that have been so helpful in my success post-high school have stemmed from her. When preparation meets opportunity, believing in myself and trusting my decisions based on what I know in my heart, by treating everyone, no matter how big or small, the way I want to be treated and not expecting anything less from anyone else. But the way Randi lived her life is also important in the way we continue on without her. She loved wholeheartedly and cared so deeply. She kept a close circle of quality friends. She loved what she did, and she loved the people she surrounded herself with, and she never denied herself french fries from Volcano Burger. As my career took off, Randi was always right there on the right with me. One of the last text conversations I had with Randi was just over a year ago, when she texted me asking if I would be on the red carpet at the Oscars, to which I replied yes. "No way, I'll look for you," she texted back. "I can't believe I know someone at the Oscars." Yep, I wrote back, "I'll be with Lady Gaga and Nicole Kidman." Responding only as Randi could, my phone dinged. "Well then, who's with the famous people?" In a moment that was so surreal for me, a huge light bulb went off in my head. There was no one more fitting for me to be talking to as I stood there on the red carpet waiting for the festivities to begin. Because Randi had always been the biggest celebrity in my life. For the duration of my high school career and on, she was the most important person to me. The person who I was most starstruck by my freshman year when I was first getting to know her. It was always the most famous person on campus. She was always who I wanted to impress, who I wanted to be around, and she would hate me for saying it, but whose opinion mattered the most. So now when I look back on that first day I walked into room 518, a day that I couldn't have explained the change that happened inside of me, I realized that what she taught me in that classroom is something that has changed the way I look at the world. It has taught me to look at each day as an opportunity to be a leader, that each day is an opportunity to impact someone else's life in a way you might not realize. Because look at the people next to you. We have one thing in common. We all love Randi, but she impacted each of us in a way that is individual and unique to each one of us. And that is something special. So today, let's celebrate my BFF, Dr. Randi Carp, as she would have wanted us to, by laughing, singing, and smiling, and definitely a glass of red wine or two.